Greetings. My name is Chris Atkinson. I'm a technical marketing engineer for Cisco Systems, and today we're going to be demoing the operating system installation feature that's been added to Intersight. In doing this, we'll be using we'll be configuring the software repository, as well as doing a Kickstart configuration modification to be used for the actual operating system installation. So we'll jump right in and we'll see this new software repository section where we can add an operating system. Now this is just adding basically metadata for where the OS ISO is going to live in your environment. So essentially you're going to give it just some names and information to make it visible in Intersight, as well as the path that you're going to utilize for this. So I've got an HTTP server just running that's going to be serving up both my VMware ISO as well as my server configuration utility. So I've posted that in, added it, and now we can simply add the server configuration utility, which is what we're going to use to actually do the operating system installation as kind of a non-interactive bootstrap for doing the software install, the operating system install. So once again, going to hit my HTTP server where I've already have the ISO ready to go, and just filling in the information to make it understood, what version of SCU this is, etc. So we'll go ahead and paste in our ISO information here, and now we're ready to go. We're ready to start, and so we're going to choose a server. This happens to be a C220M5 server that we're going to be utilizing today. So we'll browse to that server, and we'll see a new option under Actions that'll read Install Operating System. So we'll choose that option, and a wizard will begin that allows us to kind of walk through the process. So just validating the server that's been chosen. Obviously we could choose multiple servers, but we're doing one for this particular install. We're choosing that ISO that we just provided the metadata for, as well as now we need to configure an actual answer file for our VMware installation. So we have a sample that's listed here on the intersight.com help page, where we can just copy this off, and we're going to paste it into in this case a text editor, and make any changes that are relevant for this environment. Obviously there's a whole slew of things that you can do for this, and you'll find a link here below that lists out the options that you can utilize when doing specifically a VMware installation, and that link is shown here below. So right here I'm just making a change to do to have the system utilize the first disk, as well as going to make some IP address changes. Obviously if you're doing multiple systems, you may want to consider using DHCP. We'll give it a name, and then ultimately we're going to upload that this Kickstart file to Intersight to be utilized. So we'll jump back over now to Intersight, and we'll make the selection of our Kickstart file that we just created. And that's pretty much it. We're going to now choose the server configuration utility, review our settings here, and take a look at the Kickstart file that we literally just created, and validate that it's what we want. And then we're going to click the install button. And from here, it's a completely automated process. So we'll zoom out here, bring up the KVM, just to, you don't have to watch the KVM, but obviously just to kind of showcase that things are actually happening now to the system. So we'll go to the task view and actually see that the tasks are running for this system, and I've got the KVM loaded here in a separate window. And now I'm going to adjust the speed to 25x. I think we've all watched an operating system install before, but essentially it's going to go through and do this in a non-interactive mode with the settings that we provided in the Kickstart file. So at this point, you can go grab a cup of coffee and come back in 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your environment, depending on what you're installing, where you're installing it to. But essentially that's it. It's a very, very lightweight, non-interactive installation. At the end of the installation, we're actually tracking via some things that we're doing in the Cisco IMC. So we can write logs there and actually read those back into Intersight to provide that a little more granular detail in terms of status, so we can see where we are in the process, and when the process is complete, the Cisco IMC gets those logs and can read those logs and see that the installation is completed. So that's it for this demonstration. Thank you so much for watching.